Actually, big question maybe to the local person who's watching us today here at Google Television. And of course, we are streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, Google Television Uganda. You can go there and find us live and give us your own opinion, comment about what self-care really is according to you, how you take it. But of course, we have an expert, Mr. Malcolm. He is a clinician, and of course he has dealt with old people for a long time, the senior citizens, and also he's dealing with the young people. But of course he's promoting self-care and empowering communities in Uganda how to ensure that they are eating healthy, that they are living a joyous, vibrant life here in Uganda. Mr. Malcolm, you're most welcome on Google Television.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamara Daniel, for hosting me today.
Please greet our viewers and of course let them who you are.
Yes, our dear viewers and listeners, I'm Christopher Vyarhanga Malcolm, a clinician at One Stop Medical Services. We offer health care services to patients with lifelong illnesses from home, hospital, and also telemedicine.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now, of course, Mr. Vyarhanga, we've been talking about self-care for quite some time back.
Yes,
I saw the national self-care guidelines were rolled out last year at Mineral Peak Resort. But of course, this has not left the conference room yet to an individual watching us from Buyikwe, from Mayuge, from Kanung district where I come from actually. So what does the word self-care actually mean?
Okay, thank you for that. So when we say self-care, we are referring to taking care of and being responsible as an individual for your body, for your health, and for your mind. And this involves practices, behaviors, thoughts, actions that are reflected on the individual, but with the goal of improving their health, improving their well-being through the body, through the mind, and through the community.
Wow. That means self-care is a whole, right?
Yes, it's a whole. It's not just, let me buy myself a pizza, that is self-care. No.
So it is a whole individual. So
Yes.
when you say that practices, what are some of those practices that individuals can do and tell that, yes, Kamara is doing self-care?
Yes, so for individual practices that would show self-care, number one, we are going to look at appearance, because in appearance we have things like how you are going to dress, how you are going to do your hygiene. For instance, practices like taking a bath. Yes, you know, these are simple things, but some people don't do them, and they're the initial indicators of self-care. Taking a bath, being able to wear nicely, being able to brush your teeth, being able to trim your fingernails when they go too long. All these are the things.
But now we have the fashion of putting on the false nails. Is then that self-care?
Now, there is an extent to where we can have self-care in terms of health, and then this, I would call it artificial self-care. The artificial one.
So let's take us to the first natural self-care. How should every individual be? Just like you're telling us about trimming hair, being well kept, also.
Yes, so that is the part of the appearance, because even people will judge from that to tell whether you care about yourself. The other practices on the body are going to be nutrition. So you are what you eat.
The mouth.
Yes, via the mouth. And a lot of us, we treat food as a by the way in our daily lives. You find, oh, you are busy at work, let me just have a quick Rolex. Let me just have a quick Chicomando. That is not self-care. Self-care is responsible and conscious feeding. Eating what is right for you at the right time, and then respecting your body after you eat it. Connected with nutrition,
I was speaking about self-care last night at the Soga Health Forum. So my friend said that okulya obulungi kitegeeza eating luxury. Then okulya ebituufu means eating healthy. I was
Yes.
shocked and I was learning new things, of course, how people perceive every time you say eat, please ensure you eat good food, eat well. People actually know that is eating luxury. Whereas if you said eat real health foods, it means okulie bitofu. So when you talk about eating, it is really very, very important.
And I'm glad you have hinted on that point, because a lot of us, when we want to say we have eaten well, when you see even on the WhatsApp statuses, it's usually KFC, Cafe Javas. We normally think of okulio bitofu when we are sick. When you have a flu, that's when you think of taking ginger, lemon water. Yet this is how you are supposed to always eat every day. Yeah, so it goes to the nutrition as well. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Biarahanga. And of course, now we've seen the Ministry of Health has implemented these guidelines, but we believe, me personally, in my own opinion, I believe they have not reached to the ground level. I know there are some individuals who might not actually have heard about self-care before.
Yes.
Yet we have it here in Uganda. How can we move from the boardroom to the community with self-care information?
So, number one, we need to do some public awareness within the communities where people be. And we could now look at, let's say, like people who are working in community markets. Some of these people, most of the times, we don't know that the practices that we do and live in are actually not fostering or strengthening self-care. People need to know that self-care is as important as how you see medication or how you see treatment. And in this regard, it can also be knowing your body. You know, your body communicates to you through different ways, which we can call symptoms or diseases. But before you get to that, the person should know that self-care involves me respecting, taking care of my body. Once you start to do that, when your body changes because of self-care, you will be aware. For instance, if you are somebody who is always eating well, exercising, and taking your body weight, if you notice changes in this, you say, okay, my weight has increased. Oh, okay, my weight is dropping alarmingly. Self-care means being responsible to find out why, what is happening with me.
Wow. That's interesting. So we are still talking about some strategies of reaching other communities.
Yes.
You are saying awareness.
Yes, awareness, and this can be done through public healthy camps. So
outreaches.
Yes, outreaches where we tell people that self-care is actually a holistic thing. It is not just buying yourself a nice meal, taking yourself out on a retreat. It is beyond that. And it's also a daily thing. It's not something you say, I will do self-care today and do it again next month. No, it is something you do every day within yourself.
Wow. Thank you so much. What are the components, maybe what comprises of a self-care package for an individual to be holistic? Doesn't include mental health, you talked about intuition, talking about what are some of those key components that we would want our viewers of Google Data Vision to start doing, so that in the self-care package, just like every person has a first aid kit at home, most families actually have Panadol, have Fragile, which is not right. But of course, now I want to look at the self-care package. What should the self-care package include?
Yeah, thank you for that. So self-care package should include, I'd say, 3 components. The first component is more of being aware that we have what we call hidden health challenges.
Hidden health challenges.
Yes, so most of the challenges like diabetes, hypertension,
they are silent.
They are silent, yes. And normally we tend to know that they are there when they have overgrown. So that initial knowledge that my body, my mind can actually suffer from something that I may not realize is the first thing. So when you move from that awareness, you now go to what we call self-checkups. So these checkups, you can do it as an individual. You can have a blood pressure machine at home. You can have a blood glucose machine at home. You can go and measure your weight. All these are what we call vitals. Health vitals, they indicate how your body is in terms of what we call health. So the third component which I would look at, and the most important one, is what I would call holistic living. Holistic living has three things. It has good nutrition, that's number one. Eating the right food at the right time. Number two, it has...
I was about to say from the right place.
From the right place, yes. As a nutritionist, yes, from the right place. And number two, it has exercise. Stay fit. Find some time in your schedule of the day to either do a walk, to do a jog. Then the third component is going to be rest and a peaceful mind. A lot of us may not know this or may not take this into consideration, but our mind is as important as our body when it comes to self-care. And usually, most of us will focus on how nice we are going to appear, forgetting how we actually feel on the inside. And that can now be the cause of stress which can now be the cause of other health care concerns that the individual develops over time. So have those three components.
So when you talk about enough resting, what are the recommended sleeping hours? And of course, what is the estimate sleeping times the Ugandans have been performing? What is the real average of sleeping time? And the person can say, yes, I've done self-care.
So with the working Ugandans, the average sleeping time is actually between 4 to 7 hours. There are people who sleep 4, there are those 7. But the recommended, scientifically, we would say 6 to 8 hours of uninterrupted night sleep.
6 to 8 hours?
Yes, 6 to 8.
But now have a lot of social media.
Yes, this is a challenge. Most of us spend most of our times awake at night on social media or on our phones, and this is not good because this blue light coming from the smartphones tricks the body into thinking that it is still daytime, and the body activates the daytime mechanisms, which actually means that even when you go to rest after those hours of social media, you really don't rest. That's why most of us, when we sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 6 a.m., we still feel tired, yet we have slept. Why? Because when you use social media, you use smartphones before you sleep, the blue light tricks the part of your brain called the hypothalamus into thinking that it is still daytime. As such, daytime mechanisms are put in place. Instead of sleeping, you will literally be partly awake, partly asleep. So it's not just sleeping, but it's also the things you do towards sleep. If you're using your smartphone during nighttime, overeating at night, these are some of the challenges that are going to affect your resting. Even when you get to the 8 hours of sleep, there will still not be quality rest.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Byaranga. And of course, you talk about a peaceful mind. Mr. Byaranga, let's be practical, that we are all looking for money in Uganda.
Yes.
I don't think that you can be have a peaceful mind, otherwise you always be thinking lots. How can Ugandans who are watching Uganda Vision and Beauty observe a peaceful mind amidst the rigorous need for money?
Yes, so that is actually a very realistic and critical point.
Because I know even today you've moved like 5 times.
Yes, yeah, yes.
And if I asked you money, you'd say, you see, Kamara, you don't have money.
That is for sure. So about how to, so basically this would be, how do we cope with the mental health challenges that we face on a day-to-day? Number one, again, it goes back to awareness, knowing that, okay, financial, socio-economic, or environmental challenge are going to predispose me at mental health stress. Once you know that, then now the second thing is, what do I do about it? So what to do about it? Number one, create positive, rewarding moments in your life. No matter how stressed you are, no matter how the finances are challenging you, remember that one, you can look to spiritual positivity. That is always what I call the key. Trust that God is in control of everything, because also that also, you as an individual,
calms you down.
Yes, your anxiety.
You keep the faith.
You keep the faith and you will win the fight. Then number two, yes, number two is that have someone to emotionally express yourself with. This can be a friend, this can be a lover, this can be family, but don't let your mental stress suffocate you, because a lot of us, one philosopher said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. You find a lot of your pressure and anxiety.
They're intrinsic.
If you actually shared, you would start to even feel relieved.
There are so many. You have a lot of things you're battling with your mind.
So, and don't just share with everyone. Share with people you can confide in. That's what I'm saying. Either a friend, a lover, or a family member. Number three, do activities that encourage positivity and promote well-being. So some of these what are some of these activities? It has been proven that just exercise releases what we call endorphins, the happy hormones in the body. So this counteracts the stress that you are having. What else can you do? If you have hobbies, aside from the hustle for money, have a hobby. This hobby could be maybe singing, it could maybe be writing, it could be taking a nature walk, it could be going for swimming, going to the gym. These hobbies momentarily are a positive escape, not a negative escape, because negative escape we have things like drugs, but positive escape mechanisms, this is like swimming, going to the gym, going to nature.
For worship,
worship. All these are positive, rewarding hobbies that momentarily don't put you in the stress that you are in than when you are in this grind working mode.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. And of course, for viewers who have just joined us, you are live in Google Data Vision Health and Beauty program, and we are talking about Self-Care Awareness Month 2025. Just like Uganda adapted the self-care guidelines from the WHO that was signed some time back in 2019, the Ministry of Health Uganda encourages self-care, actually ranging from sexual productive health into the holistic approach and of course the integration of healthcare services. Here with me, I'm still having Mr. Malcolm Birhanga, and he's still explaining to us what you can do and what you can actually understand by the word self-care in the local meanings and terms. And of course, Mr. Birhanga,
yes, please.
Viewers want to know, how can young people, for example, us, the young people at the adolescents, we have different age categories, and we believe that they have different self-care means.
True.
What are some of those age categories that you want to be specific about self-care?
Yeah, thank you for that. So the age category...
Because you work with elderly people, I don't know what self-care you give them. And
actually, of late, my focus has also been on young people.
Please go on and tell us.
So maybe I'll begin with a critical demographic among the young people, which is the female young person. So the female young person deserves my attention because, as we know, between the ages of 13 to 30s, 40s, females go through their reproductive health cycles on a monthly basis. So during these cycles, there are a number of changes that happen that are hormonal, that happen to the body. Then there are those that are psychological, that also happen due to the hormones. And then also there is monthly blood loss. So self-care, number one, I would look at this age bracket of the teenage girl. Teenagers. The Gen Z girl. Here is what I would say.
Do not forget the boy in the next episode.
Yes, I'm coming to the boy as well. Starting with the girl, because I think it's where I've seen most of the healthy concerns we have. Okay. So, number one, I would say that understand that every month my body is going through a process. A process. And this process is going to have changes on my body. My appetite will change, my moods may change, I may lose blood. So what do? Number one, nutrition. Make sure that you eat foods that help replace some of that lost blood. We have foods that are rich in iron. We have things like hibiscus. We have things like beetroot. look at the foods, then we also have the solid meats, things like the liver, things like the white meat proteins. These two are good. So look at nutrition number one, because nutrition is going to help you with what the blood you are losing on a monthly basis. Number two, we shall look at mental well-being. Since these changes affect the hormones and affect the moods, make sure that you are in an environment that is positive, not a toxic environment. A toxic environment will just worsen the mood swings. Then also, the environment should be supportive. Be in a supportive community, especially now in terms of hygiene. Do I get the menstrual pads or not? These are some of the challenges that we face that cut to hygiene and also cut to prevention, sexual, yes. The UTIs during the periods can be uncontrolled if you are not maintaining a good hygiene. And of course, the other thing is to read the body changes. Notice when you overbleed. Notice when you don't bleed at all. Notice when you feel so much pain. These are, again, the indicators, the body talks. When I now go to
boy child.
The boy child. So with the boy child,
because the boys have been neglected.
We have been very neglected.
Come back on table. We
yes. You have been neglected, and I would say, for us as the boy child around this period, already coming from the idea that we have been neglected, there is need to uplift the mental strength, uplift and foster the mental strength of the boy child. Why am I saying this? Around this time, we experience the puberty changes, the hormonal changes that are encountering the boy. The boy is transitioning from being a young boy, young person, to now having the what we call the sex characteristics. So they start to develop. So these two come with their own view of the world, how you view the opposite sex, how you view, even how you view yourself at school. And I would say that number one, the boy child in self-care, the most important thing that you can do is observe your mind, observe your behaviors. If you feel that, yes, this is important because...
Please emphasize it. Me, I'm learning.
Because, and this is two-way. There are those who are hyper-aggressive, then there are those who are totally quiet. They lack social esteem, they lack social confidence, they lack the social skills. So we normally have two types of the boy child around this period. You have the one whom they might call the juvenile delinquent, who will be super aggressive. This one needs to tone down to know that, okay, some of my reactions are probably not me. It's the new hormone changes that are happening to me as I'm maturing into adulthood. And where necessary, mentorship from elders, let's say old men who, because originally in our culture, we used to have rites of passage for boys into becoming men, because we knew that people or boys would go through these changes. They needed somebody to do what? To mentor them, to guide them. Without mentorship or being guided, the boy child falls victim to the energies that are surging within him at this age. And this can lead to actually self-neglect if the person indulges in drugs, indulges in activities that can lead to crime. Then we have the other boy child who also now is very quiet, is very shy, can't talk, can't express themselves, and doesn't know who to talk to. And I think this is the one who's the big challenge. At least the other one, once he's regulated, he becomes okay. But this one, he needs to improve what we can call the masculine traits, or to have a masculine mind. And what does this call for? Number one, if let's say you are this kind of person that I've mentioned with social deficiencies somewhere, the first thing that you need to look at is, why am I like this? Am I reacting to something? is this something in my childhood? Maybe in my childhood I was told not to talk, or I was discouraged to express myself. And now as an adult or as a young adult, I'm still running on that memory card of you always have to discourage yourself. Then number 2 that I would look at is engage in other boy activities, because you see, we with boys, we are outgoing. Our energy is best expressed via action. So if you are this person who is always maybe indoors, shy, it could help to join a football team. Join a local football team, or join a rugby. Every 2 to 3 days, go play football with the boys. Let them tackle you. Let you tackle them. Learn some of these lessons that our ancestors would have taught us in the jungle on now these other modern activities, because you are going to need that energy as an adult.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Biarhanga. And of course, we love the fact that we are talking about self-care. Now we began with age group number 1 for young people, adolescents, and of course looking at both girls and boys. And of course, I love the emphasis that we're given to all age categories. They're very important. For viewers who just joined us, we are speaking about self-care, and of course, we're going for a short, quick break. When we return, we shall discuss about other age groups, including pregnant mothers, elderly, and of course the middle-aged. I don't know if alcohol and other drugs are included in self-care package. I think he will clarify more on that. See you shortly.
Thank you.
Good Day TV, transforming your life. Pastor Pasteri Music Center, located along Chagwe Road on Serwaniko Music Plaza, shop number B4, and Justina Arcade, shop number G73, next to Chiseka Market, brings you all music and audio equipment and electronics like brass band items, including drums, saxophones, trombones, and cornets, top speakers, bass beams, amplifiers, digital mixers, guitars, flat TV screens, keyboards, domestic lights and stage lights, cord and cordless microphones, studio monitors, sound cards, and all recording studio equipment. For deliveries and orders from abroad, call Pastor Pasteri on 0752 008 443 or 0782 008 443. Pastor Pasteri Music Center. Good Day TV, transforming your life.
Once again, I want to welcome you to Google Data Vision Health and Beauty program that airs every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. with me, Kamara Daniel. Just like I want to emphasize that this program is entirely prevention. We really want to help you to prevent yourself from getting these diseases, and of course you can live a productive lifestyle to you, both your family, community, and of course the country. Just like you've all seen that GDP has grown, we'd like you to maintain it. And of course, by the time to come, we can leave the lowest socio-economic country to middle, maybe to highly developed country, if God wishes. And of course, we have Mr. Biarhanga. He's still telling us about self-care. And of course, we're going to the age group of pregnant mothers, then later the elderly. And of course, we shall look into the simple challenges that people go through to self-care. And of course, what does it take? Is it money for you to have self-care? Is it a job that forces you to have self-care? And so much more. Mr. Biarhanga.
Thank you again, Mr. Daniel. Now, about the pregnant mothers, we are going to look at the 3 components of their care. So we shall have nutrition, rest, and hygiene. So when I say nutrition, I'm looking at this actually from the angle of 2 people. When you are a pregnant mother, within your womb is a growing fetus, and this growing young person also has bodily demands just like you, though they might be on a lower level. So it becomes important that you not only feed well, but also you monitor what you are feeding, because most of the times what you are feeding is going to be directly also passed to the child. And on the topic of nutrition, one other problem that most pregnant mothers face is anemia, lack of blood. Most of them, the issue is the pregnant woman does not have enough blood, and this also now ties into diet. The moment you understand that, okay, now I'm pregnant, I'm enrolled on antenatal care, what are the first important things is, am I feeding well? Am I feeding right? Am I getting enough sources of blood or iron from my food? Because we actually have a condition where pregnant mothers crave to eat soil. They crave to eat red soil, and this is the body looking for alternatives to how it can outsource iron because it has been depleted. So do not reach a level where you are craving to eat red soil. Or if you see your body signaling a craving for red soil, it could mean that
the self-care is low.
Your self-care is low, yes. So that is an indicator as we are talking.
Okay.
So nutrition is going to be a big aspect of your self-care. The other big aspect of your self-care is going to be hygiene. And I say hygiene because around this period when a woman is pregnant, some of her natural immune systems go down. They naturally go down not to harm the baby, but also in this process of them growing down, the woman becomes vulnerable to so many germs and outside environmental situations. So here it becomes important that personal hygiene, starting with how often you bathe, then going to how often you clean yourself and you wear clean clothes, or even where you go to the washroom, because these are the most sensitive areas for the pregnant mother, where a risk of contracting a urinary tract infection can be so high. And we know that's normally a big challenge that can lead to pregnancy complications if not treated. So hygiene becomes a very, very important key. And just add on this hygiene also, watch or monitor the things that you take inside your body. So in this I mean things like alcohol, things like even certain drugs. Certain drugs are contraindicated when you are pregnant because why? These drugs, some of them are able to pass through and reach the baby. So avoid alcohol, avoid smoking, avoid taking, make sure when you are sick and you go to your doctor, tell your doctor that please, I am pregnant, do not give me a drug that is going to cause side effects on my baby. Or some of these drugs might even lead to unintended or unwanted miscarriages. So that becomes another key aspect of health. And finally, we look at rest because we know that your body is on much natural strain because it is incubating life within it, and at the same time it also has to protect you and protect that life. So you are going to need rest for your body to recover with its inner processes. So this is where even aspects of maternal leave become important. When you are pregnant, do not work 24/7 the same way you have been working. You need time for your body to rest, recover, and even manufacture some of those essential nutrients that are going to be needed for the baby. And I'll end with antenatal care. Don't miss your antenatal care. Don't miss to take your tetanus vaccine. Don't miss to take those recommended immunizations that protect you and the baby during pregnancy.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Biarahang. Of course, you've been sharing an important a message about the pregnancy. And of course, just like you are preparing for two people, both the mother and the child, it's very critical for us to ensure that self-care is at its peak so that we can avoid also the risk of maternal mortality, morbidity, or both the child and the mother. And of course, now I want to talk about the senior citizens. These are the people who have not been paid attention to for some time. So what would you think about for them?
Yeah, so the senior citizens are...
Would you want to be one?
Of course.
How will you be looking?
God knows, but hopefully like me, but much older. Yeah. But for the senior citizens, the first thing that we need to understand is that when we age, our body changes and our mind as well also changes. And usually these changes are gradual. So we may not per se experience or feel them until you are suddenly walking and you feel the leg is stuck or the back is having an issue. So what are the major issues actually that the elderly face that require self-care? Number one is going to be hydration. A lot of the senior citizens don't drink water. And this this problem becomes much bigger when you are a senior citizen. We have had cases of people who fall to their deaths when they have gone to the bathroom at night. So we have these cases of what we call orthostatic hypertension. This is basically when your blood pressure drops when you stand. So this is a major problem among the senior citizens, and it's normally caused by not having enough water volume within your blood, or not having enough plasma. So number one to the elderly, hydration. This is the moment for you when you actually need water more than any other person. Already your body is getting a bit dry, so you will need the water to even keep your skin looking young, not looking way older than your age. But then also the water to go through your brain, because without your brain getting this water, you are going to succumb to these issues of poor attention, the memory loss will be worse, the risk for falls will be worse. Then number two is going to, of course, be nutrition, and here I'm looking at mainly foods rich in proteins, because the major change that will happen when you're getting old is your body starts to degrade down, and even the cells, your body cells, will now die at a much faster rate. So you are going to need to replace the degrading body and the cells that are wearing out, and this is going to be through foods that are rich in proteins. A lot of senior citizens have chronic general body weakness and fatigue, and most of them, it is due to protein energy malnutrition. And again, this goes back to, you are not going to eat the same way you used to do it as an adult.
Okay.
Yes, you will have to, normally I tell my senior patients that, and their care next of kin, that find a way to seduce them through food. Let the food be appetizing. Me and you here, we are going to eat our cassava and beans the way they are, without any complaint. But the senior citizen, appetite is going to be so much.
Because they took them a lot when they are
citizens
before they became senior.
Yes. So a lot of the appetite game is actually going to be mental or psychological. So this even goes back to who prepares the food. Don't just say, oh, they said you should eat. Here, eat. No. How is the food prepared? Is it looking attractive?
Appealing.
Appetizing. These are going to be some of the important issues when it comes to self-care and nutrition among the elderly.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Malcolm. And of course, now we would want to look at the challenges to self-care practices in Uganda. What are some of the challenges that people are going through that they would want actually to do self-care, but they are not able to because of some challenges that you want to tell us?
So challenge number one.
It can also be hindrances to self-care.
So we have those that are resource-based, and then those that are, I would say, lifestyle-based. So the first challenge is we may not properly know what self-care means. Like I've said, to a lot of people, self-care might mean buying yourself KFC once in a while. But that's not what self-care is. So the first challenge is informational and awareness. Then the second challenge that we are going to have is what do we do, and how do we do it? So this can come in form of maybe you could have restrictions, and these restrictions could be financially imposed on the person. Let's say the person might be willing to, they want to eat very well, they want to eat the true things, but maybe they don't have the financial access, so they resort to a similar staple food. Like somebody who is eating, I'll use the example of a Rolex so much because these are like the fast foods we do the most. So you find every day you are taking a Rolex and a soda, or when you change, you take chips and a soda. This is, in the long run, not a sustainable diet for you. And why is the person doing this? When you ask them, they will say they don't have time to prepare local food. They have to be at work. So because they don't have time to prepare local food, and also because local food requires money, because a Rolex is 2,000, 3,000, whereas local food you have to buy each item separately, then you have to set the fire, then you have to cook, then you have to wait, then you have to serve the dishes, then you have to eat. This is going to be a 1 to 2 hour process compared to somebody going to a Rolex store and standing for 10 minutes and they make for them a Rolex for 3,000. So we have this challenge that people don't have the resource in terms of time for them to actually do self-care. And even when, let's say they have the time, they may not have the finances to actually support such a kind of lifestyle. Challenge number 3 is going to be, this might be funny, but there's actually also stigma on self-care, whereby somebody will say, you're being proud. Why all these rules on your body? You know? And this can actually come from peer pressure. For instance, if you have been a heavy drinker, your self-care would be going sober. But now, when you try to go sober, your friends whom you go to club with will say, what's happening to you? Why are you behaving like this and this? So stigma coming from the peer pressure, since few of us do self-care, it means when you start to do self-care with these health positive practices, you are going to disappear from the circles where you have been. Maybe, let's say you and your friends every day you meet on a weekend to eat pork and drink so and so number of beers. So if you're like, I don't think this habit is good for my body, even for my finances.
You may actually lose friends when you decide to leave some drinking and whatsoever, because your social environment is depleted.
Yes.
And of course now, as we intend to come to a close of this program, we have a few minutes to edit, but of course we'd like to hear from the public. We'd want to encourage them to visit our social media platforms. We're streaming live on Google Data Vision, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, and of course about self-care, which is very, very important for every person watching us live. And of course encouraging them to go and start self-care. What are your last remarks and your call to the government? First call on individuals, later to the communities, later to the government, and then we conclude this program.
So to the individuals, my last remarks are self-care is not selfishness. It is actually the highest expression of self-love. Please do it. Please do it on a daily, because no one is going to love yourself more than you. To the communities, I would say that, and I'm talking to different communities, we need to promote awareness within the communities, especially on self-care and what could happen if we don't do self-care. Because a lot of the diseases we are facing within the community, the diseases that are spiraling up, are coming due to the opposite of self-care, which is self-neglect. So let's push self-care as a communal, holistic thing, much as it is targeting the individual, but the community is made up of individuals. So for the community, I would say awareness and doing communal practices that push for self-care would be very important, like a public toilet, public washrooms, public washing mechanisms at a market. People, we touch money every day, and we don't know where this money has come from. You find after touching money in the market, you immediately eat. You have not washed your hands. Let's try to start with these basics. And then to the government, I would say that let's try to publicize and decentralize the self-care guidelines, because while the government is doing a good job at crafting all this information, the person below may not even be aware that the government has actually done this. So it would be important with the government to partner with the public communities, groups like Rotary and so forth, to push some of these self-care practices, not just to be known, but also guidelines on how to do them, and where necessary, supporting resource limitations to make sure things like the WASH program by Rotary has been very helpful to school-going students who now have access to water for the toilet, water for basic hygiene for menstruating girls, and then also water for generally showering.
I am sorry for not calling you Rotarian, Malcolm. I just forgot it. What's which club do you fellowship from?
Rotary Club of Kampala West.
Ah, where do you meet?
We meet at Katikati, Lugogo Bypass, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. every Wednesday.
Ah, that's too light during that day.
Yeah, we meet at
so guys, literally you meet to have lunch and then you discuss and eat.
Yes.
Excellent. So thank you so much, Mr. Biarhanga. And of course, do you have any greetings?
Yes, I send out my greetings to, well, I'll begin with my family. I hope they do self-care, my father, my siblings, and then also the medical fraternity that I work with as well, Ryan Hospital here nearby. I also send greetings to my patients, hoping they observe self-care, and the Rotary family, peace.
Of Kampala West. Thank you so much for being good viewers of Google Data Vision. That's how we would like to inform you about self-care. And of course, if you have any comments or questions about self-care, go on and use our social media platforms, including our Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikTok, so that we can get back to you. I am Kamara Daniel, your presenter for this important health and beauty program, Google Data Vision. Hope to see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Good Day TV.